Alright YouTube, another Rebel bites the dust. That's right, the Rebel that I had for only a couple months and then sold to my buddy Eric, he has now sold also. I'm meeting up with him to ride. He just picked up his new bike today, so we're gonna go over why he sold the bike. I think the big question is it just too slow? That's what lots of people are wondering. So he should be here any minute. Stick around, we're gonna find out. Watch until the end, and make sure you like and subscribe. That would mean a lot to me. And yeah, let's get to it. Oh, and there's the man himself. Oh, look at it. Damn! All right, let's do this. All right, so we're gonna pull over up here at I think just the parking lot of a local park, and talk to him and find out why he sold the Rebel, and yeah, maybe a few things that he loved about it and a few things that he did not like, which led him to sell it. So let's see. All right, I'm here with Eric, and between the two of us, we both had the same exact Rebel 300, and we have both bought and sold it within 4 months total. Got your shiny new CBR 650F.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody's wondering, so what was the reason that led you to sell the Rebel 300? Was it just too slow like everybody says it is, or what was it?
No, actually, I think it had enough power to keep up with traffic and have fun. There was no problem with it whatsoever. I got rid of it because I've always wanted a street bike. I wanted this bike specifically because it has the look and the power of a street bike, but keeps me a little bit more upright so my back can be a little bit more straight for longer rides. I love that Rebel. I will miss it. It's a great bike to get yourself going and learn how to ride. I've had my license for 6 or 7 years, but I never owned my own motorcycle, so I needed a motorcycle, practice what I knew, making sure when I upgraded myself, I knew exactly what I was doing. So yeah, that's why I had it for a little bit, and you know, I had a deal of a century to buy this one.
Yeah,
couldn't pass it up.
That is a stupid good deal that you got.
It just made more sense to just trade it in, take the loss, and get the bike I want.
Yeah.
Now, I've heavily considered maybe owning a 500 in the future, like the Rebel 500, and make that into a bobber.
Right.
I've always wanted a bobber as well. I want a street bike more than a bobber, so maybe in the next year or two I can pick up a 500 and turn that into a bobber bike.
Yeah, so the reason if you were to go back to a Rebel that you would go with a 500 the second time, what is that? Is that just because it's a little bit more capable with the power? And
it's just more capable with the power. I mean, you know, this right here is nearly triple the power, actually nearly quadruple the power of the Rebel 300.
Right.
And if I dropped all the way back down to a 300, I'm not saying I wouldn't have fun, but I would definitely miss some of that oomph out of it. So
right.
I would go with the 500. So
let's say that you had to do it all over again and had to start out on a Rebel again. Would you get the 300 or the 500?
May as well just go with the 500. For a little bit more money, you can go with the 500. If you happen to get a really good deal on the 300, just go for it.
Right.
If this is going to be your first bike, 300 there's nothing wrong with that, especially for people who are very, very new to riding and they're almost scared to ride. The 300 is going to be more than enough power to make it feel like you're going fast as a rocket.
Right. Right. Yeah, I agree. So I didn't start out on the 300, but the 300 is the first Rebel that I rode, and I would agree that it has just enough power if you're starting out that you're going to be comfortable with it. You might outgrow it a little bit, but you're not going to be overwhelmed by the power that the 500 might have. So, all right, Eric.
To me, real quick though, is you might outgrow it. If this is your first bike of 300, you might outgrow. But because it's so inexpensive, you could just keep it as a grocery getter.
Right.
You know, if you live around the city and you wanted to have a different bike to have that's not city friendly, the Rebel 300 would be more than city friendly to have.
That's true.
So just because you get over it real quick doesn't mean that you can't have it. I just don't have storage to have 2 bikes, so that if I had the storage, I would have kept that bike as a grocery getter for sure.
Right. All right, well, let's hear, what are the top 3 things that you disliked about the bike for anyone that's considering getting it?
Me personally, what I didn't like, the sound of the exhaust. I think it sounded pretty good, but it reminded me of a dirt bike.
Yeah, it has a single cylinder kind of high-pitched thump to it.
Yeah, so that's my personal opinion. Other people may not care. Some people do like it. The second thing is there's not a lot to choose from for aftermarket parts. You know, I want to do a rear fender delete. Well, there was someone who makes just the brackets to do a rear fender delete, because if you remove the fender, well, then you don't have a seat if you there's no bracket. So nobody makes just the brackets, so you have to spend $200 bucks to get the aftermarket fender and a bracket just to use the brackets.
Right.
So that's the other thing I didn't really like too much. Third, I don't think there really is a third.
Listen,
I guess on highway was not very fun. I'm not saying that you couldn't keep up with traffic, because there was no problem, but that little gust of wind, man, you can go 60 miles per hour, that little bit of wind hits and you feel like you're gonna fall over.
Yeah.
So that'll be my top 3 that I didn't like about it.
I agree. Well, you heard it here first. Well, actually probably not first, but the Rebel 300 is still a great bike to start out on, and you can hear us struggling to come up with 3 bad things about it, so you really can't go wrong with it. It was just time to move on to greener pastures. Any final words, Eric, about your time with the Rebel?
I'll miss it.
Yeah, they're fun.
Here's the thing. They're so flickable. They're so lightweight that whether you're experienced or not experienced, it's just fun to have.
Yeah.
So,
and just to kind of put it in perspective, so like I have the VFR 750, and then he upgraded to the CBR 650F. Both obviously fun, powerful enough bikes, and we can both agree that the Rebel's just fun. There's just something about how light it is and maneuverable it is. It's awesome. So, all right, cool. Well, I think that'll do it. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. Check out my other Rebel videos, and we'll see you next time. Peace.